What are the secrets to sourcing products? Today, we talk to an expert who will reveal his 7 secrets. This is the My Amazon Guy podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Pope, founder of the agency My Amazon Guy. Tune in each week to learn how to grow your Amazon sales. Norman Farrar is an entrepreneur who provides online marketing and managed e-commerce solutions for brands. He has worked with Fortune 500 companies such as Coca-Cola, Mercedes-Benz, and 20th Century Fox. Since the early 1990s, Norman has focused on helping entrepreneurs optimize their operations and unlock their business's potential. So I'm now joined by Norm. Thanks for coming on the show.
Hey, it's my pleasure. How are you?
I'm doing great. So Norm has recently launched his own podcast, and that's how we caught each wind of each other. And I'm super excited because I just feel like he's got such an amazing value to add and topic to Amazon. And today we'll be talking a lot about that. So I appreciate you coming on and sharing your insights.
So I just have to know, did you hear that fly that just landed on my glasses?
No, dude. Okay. So crazy side story here. So on Saturday, I was at the beach and randomly out of nowhere, a mosquito lands in the canal of my ear. Ooh. And it was a big mosquito buzzing around and I could not get it out. I had to rush home. I started frantically Googling on Google how to find out how to get an insect out of your ear. And turns out the best way to do it, if for anybody who's curious, is to pour oil into your ear. So I did some olive oil, and then that kills the insect. And then from there, it's totally like going in with a metal tool and pulling it out. So yeah, it took an hour, got it out. I can hear just fine. Didn't have to see the doctor, but would not recommend that experience to anyone.
Oh boy. That's awful.
Yeah. So hopefully that fly doesn't decide to go into your ear canal today while we're shooting this.
I hope not.
All right. So people that are watching on YouTube are going to want to know a little bit about what's in your backdrop. It's just so fascinating. You've got this boat on the side. Tell us a little bit about that. And then after that, we'll talk about secrets.
Well, actually, that is a sourcing secret. But
woohoo! Well, that ties right in then.
What a segue. So anyways, I was in Vietnam and I was looking for furniture to bring back and sell in Canada because Vietnam at the time had incredible value on high quality woods, exotic woods. Anyways, in the back of the factory, there was a whole bunch of people working on these tall ships. And so they caught my eye. I knew the Miami boat show was happening. And I decided that I was going to take a chance and bought a container worth of boats, to a 20-foot container, to sell at the show. So at the Miami boat show, I'm sitting there 2 days, not a single boat showed. I thought I'd get stuck with the bill. And a lady on the Sunday came over and said, "What's wrong with your boat or boats?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "Oh, there's another supplier over there that has less quality boat, but a lot more expensive. Like, what's up?" So I went over and I took a look, and she was right. They weren't very good quality boats. They were $3,500 each. And I went to Kinko's that night and I changed my prices from $750 to $2,500 and sold out, completely sold out. And so
there are 4 things you have to do in e-commerce. This is a Harry Joyner quote: sell more product to more people more often. And the one that everybody forgets that you just talked about, for more money. So very interesting to see that that's what it took to sell more product.
Yeah. So raised it up, made a lot more money, sold out, did it for 3 other trade shows until Chinese kind of cut on and I was undercut. So I just decided to move on. But yeah, there were 2 boats that I kept. One's over in the other corner, and that's that one there, the Napoleon. And yeah, that's just for memories. That was the best deal. They cost me $85 each.
That's fantastic.
$2,500.
A lot of fun. So all right. So today we're talking about sourcing, and tell me a bit about what you've done historically to get better at this.
Just been in the game. So being able to learn by my mistakes, and actually pay my tax. And I'm talking
It's a good
about,
way to say it. I like that.
just learning, listening to other people, reading about what they've done. And there's lots of information, a lot of bad information, but a lot of good information as well. But it was just really getting experience. Like for one of the, I'll just give you, want a nightmare story?
Sure. Love them.
Okay. So this is a family business. So my family business is into a variety of different products, but one is way before COVID into wipes, screen wipes, phone wipes, just, sanitizing wipes. And so we trusted this broker that would bring in our products. So we bring in a container at a time, or actually at that time there was more. And we cracked the container. This was going over to some huge distributor. And we noticed that they decided to shave probably a thousandth of a penny off, or a hundredth of a penny off, by not putting the liner into this hand wipe. And so for those watching, where is it? I got it right here. So these little packs, right? So you split them open, you get the liner that's in there, he didn't put in. So by the time we got them, 100% of them had leaked through.
Oh no.
So we're not talking a little bit of money, and we're talking, I think it was 4 containers.
They were 4 containers of this.
Yeah. Now, so this is a guy that we've talked to, and we were doing business as a broker, and he made all the arrangements. He did the inspections. He did everything. Big problem. If you get the guy that's being the broker to hire the guy that's going to be doing the inspections, well, they're buddies. They could manipulate the inspection so it would pass. And the other thing, so obviously we had a problem with that. But the other thing that we learned about it is with the inspections, you have to ask for certain things. So we never asked for the liner to be checked. So now we check to make sure that the specs on the liner are proper. So, I mean, that's important. So the whole package gets, you take a look at, rather than just, just having the quality of or having the alcohol content, making sure that that's proper. So it goes to a lab. So it's just one more step that you would have to do. But anyways, it wouldn't have mattered because the inspector was on the take. He was on the take. And we lost a lot of money.
That is really frustrating to hear. Now, I have been to China, and sourcing is not my favorite thing to do. I do not claim to know the 7 secrets of sourcing, but I understand the consequence that you're talking about. And wow, several container loads, useless product leaking. That is a nightmare scenario. And it's just, and that lesson that you paid in the tax, that you like to call it, you'll never forget that lesson. How much are you willing to pay to prove something right or wrong, right? There you go. So that's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy. And I just remembered I didn't turn my phone off. So there we go.
You're good.
We're good now.
So which secret was that? Pay your tax?
That's not even in there.
So we're bonus time already. Early bonus.
Hey, look at that. Bonus. But yeah, so the secret with that one is we actually went out and bought a factory, and we have a factory now that we own and operate for this. So that was our way of getting around that.
So buying a factory is probably not on the short list of most Amazon sellers. What's the pros and cons?
Well, the pros and cons, at least for us, is we really don't own the factory. We have general managers that run and own, the factory for us. Interesting, little interesting tidbit. It's kind of interesting because we're just finishing off hearing Jeff Bezos talk about,
anti-competitive bullcrap.
Yeah. So get this. So we have this factory. Nobody knows about it. It's not published anywhere. Okay, we do provide private label products, but people have to know how to find us. Distributors know how to find us, but not our factory. Guess who gets a call? to the factory.
Your factory got a call from Amazon? Are you kidding me?
And the only way that they could
Wow.
find it would be on the forms that we filled out. It's the only way. It's not published
Did you do
anywhere.
anything with this information?
No, but I was going to talk to one of the lawyers that was involved with it. But then I thought, oh man, am I going to get sucker punched? Like, what? Amazon's got a
You
pretty
start
big,
suing them, they take off your account. Yeah.
yeah, or who knows? So I'd rather just have a laugh over it when I hear them say, oh, we know nothing about it. Although Bezos did say, yeah, it could have
Cannot
happened.
guarantee.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is code for, yeah, we do it every day, guys.
Exactly.
So I am constantly telling my clients, don't worry about it. You're too small for Amazon to pay attention, but you just proved me wrong, I think.
Yeah, but you know what? Don't worry about it because like what we're talking about with the boats, I'll never be an Amazon Basics guy, but if Amazon Basics is on a listing, and we do this with HDMI cables. So you've got something that's going for $6.99. Our HDMI cables go for $12.99. Why? Because it's just better listing,
Yep.
quality, engagement, everything's there. And we can beat Amazon at their own game without having to be product cannibalized.
Sure. So don't worry about it, but yeah, it totally does happen. Got it.
Don't worry.
Yeah, don't worry. All right, so let's go through these secrets then. So how do you want to reveal these? Number 1, number 2, or how do you want to do this?
Yeah, we can go down there.
Okay. All right. So secret number 1, hit me.
Okay. So secret number 1 is never contact online suppliers. So if you've got suppliers that are online, you could go through a large sourcing company because it's nice and easy. It's the easy thing to do. Like an Alibaba. And I'm not bashing Alibaba. It's a really great platform, especially if you're just learning how to do it, that it's really simple. It's a simple platform and you think you're getting great prices. But here's the real deal. When you're working with Alibaba, you're absolutely working with a broker. If you don't think you're working with, and brokers aren't bad, brokers are good. And I'll explain that a little bit later on. But what I don't like is when you have 5 brokers and, this broker decides to broker it to somebody else who brokers it to somebody else. All of a sudden,
4 middlemen later.
Yeah, or 5. The biggest I found is 5. So
that's crazy.
Anyways, so yeah, your customer is, or you are losing money right off the bat. And difference. So we were just taking a look at a garden shear, which was $7 and some odd cents. I think it was $7.35, $7.85. Anyways, when we ended up finding the broker, the direct broker to the manufacturer, it ended up being $3.85 in a better box.
So higher quality, lower costs.
Exactly. So here's one other thing that people probably don't remember or don't think of, is that a lot of times when you go on to these platforms, it could be, I'll get to 1688 in a second, but let's say you're going on to this one, you end up with a foreigner's profile. So right off the bat, people, you want to pay tax, there's 30% tax.
Nice.
Now that's an unspoken rule, but you've been targeted as a foreigner. So anyways, a lot of the times you'll pay more. And if you think that you're talking to the manufacturer, you're 100% wrong. I know I can talk till I'm blue in the face about manufacturers, but it's very, very, very rare that you're going to find a manufacturer that will talk to you on 1,000 units. It's not going to happen, And again, if you're working with 1688 and you say, "Oh, I saw this podcast or heard this podcast saying, I'll just deal with 1688, which is the Chinese Alibaba, right? Oh, I'll save all this money." No, you won't. You might save some, but the Chinese know that you're coming from a foreign profile. You're speaking English again. Okay, you just got sucker punched. So you think you're getting a great deal, and you could save. And it depends if you do have somebody who's speaking Chinese, to the people on your behalf, you could definitely save some, but it's not the, oh, I'll save 50%. It's not going to happen. So you might think that that's happening, but it's not.
Got
So
it.
that's the first one.
I like this one. That's a lot to unpack. So are you saying I should fax these guys, send them a letter? How do I get in contact with these real manufacturers?
Well, a lot of the time, and here's another thing that a lot of people don't really understand too, is when you're speaking to a Chinese manufacturer, most of them, the high majority of them, don't speak English. So this is why I said, having a broker is not a bad thing. Bringing in a broker can help negotiate, the terms for the factory, and has the factory and your best interest at heart. That's most of the brokers. Like, there's a lot of brokers that are very good out there. There's some that are bad, and then there's some that are layered. But the other reason why, and I laugh when people think, oh, I'm going to get 250 units, and I'm talking directly with the manufacturer. Well, many manufacturers don't have export license, so
then you're
they
paying
don't
the
have the
export
export.
fee.
Yeah, so
That happened to me. That totally happened to me. I negotiated FOB, in the last second I find out I had to pay the export tax.
yeah.
And I was like, I'm never working with this factory again.
So one of the things you just have to remember, like my final thing on the first one, is that you have to peel back the layers. And there's many layers to working with a company, even when you go and take a look. And again, I have no problems with Alibaba, but you go and you put on you're looking for a plastic shoe stretcher. You get all these people coming back, and you see some at 35 cents, some at 65, some with a range from 2 cents to 65. What is the number? And then where are you going to find, like, there could be a lot of hidden fees that you're not looking at. So there is a problem. At least once I started to learn about going out to China and finding manufacturers, mostly through sourcing agents, they were able to do this. So a sourcing agent, or a trading company, which is a broker, and finding a good one that works on your behalf, can go out there and negotiate in Chinese, on your behalf. And a lot of the times that they don't even know that they're dealing with a foreign company. They're dealing with a Chinese company, Chinese to Chinese, which makes things a lot easier and better for you.
Okay, so let's talk secret number 2 then.
Okay.
Big reveal.
All right. So secret number 2, do not pay or get quotes in US dollars. This is a biggie.
Wow.
So most people, if you're paying US dollars, do you realize that you're paying anywhere from 5 to 20% extra?
That's a crazy margin right there. I love
Yeah.
giving my margin away.
So and the reason for that is they hedge it. So, okay, let's take US dollars, but what happens if RMB goes up tomorrow or down tomorrow? They want to make sure that they have a profit. So, like, if you take a look, I think the last year, we've got a screenshot in a presentation that we do, but it went up, it fluctuated within the year, 8%. So they want to make sure that they're covered. So where are you going to do that? Well, okay, we've got to cover it off in the UX foreign exchange rate. So if you can deal with a company RMB to RMB, that works best. Now, what you can't do or shouldn't do is go back to your supplier and say, oh, I want to deal in RMB now. First of all, they're probably going, okay, so they must have listened or watched some program that told them to do that.
Which means they're going to be harder to work with ongoing.
Well, what it's going to mean is they're just going to they're going to just convert
Translate
their RMB, that whatever they gave you in US dollars, to RMB, and it'll just match. But if you're looking at new products, or if you're looking at new suppliers, you can talk RMB. And again, if you're working with an agent, like a sourcing agent, you pay them in US dollars, and then they go and work with the manufacturer in RMB. So you get the best. You might have a small foreign exchange fee. So, it might be 1% or something very, very small. And then they'll take that, and you'll save that 5 to 20, up to 20%. It's crazy.
That is a big money saver, and that's not even a hard one.
Yeah. So if you just combine those first two, the minimum you'll save is probably 15% minimum.
Well, those are going to be two big ones to beat with these next five that are going to come. So
Yeah.
let's hear it. Number 3.
Okay. Well, along with that too, just a quick note. One of the things you're probably doing, or a lot of people do, is they send their money through their bank, right? And if you're not using a foreign exchange service to do it, make sure you find out or seek out a foreign exchange company, like Seller Funding. And that's the one that I know of. Cambridge is another one. But like for me to send money overseas, it costs me next to nothing. You're paying a fraction of what you would through your bank.
Do you send the money to those companies, or does it have to sit there? Or do they just pull it for you? How does that work?
No, you can send it directly over to the company's bank.
Got it. So
Yeah.
so they just kind of pull it then. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So that literally 80% of what you've told me so far, I was clueless on this. Like I had no idea that these things even mattered. So tremendous value. Like I've been selling on Amazon as long as most of the old timers, but I've never focused on sourcing. I've always been the marketing guy, and operations has never been my main focus. And it's every company ever needs 3 things to run, right? Finance, operations, marketing. And you need to be stellar good at one of them and get a passing grade on the other 2. So it sounds like you've got operations down to A+. You're getting extra credit already. So all right. So use a foreign exchange company to save additional fees. Love it. Margin, margin, margin. That's what I keep hearing on this call. So let's go, or pod, if you will. Let's go to secret number 3.
All right. So this one is one of my favorites. Know when to negotiate your prices. And most people do it wrong. Very few companies I know do it the right way. So the right way, I mean, and there's no way of knowing this. So you go and you take a course, and then you go to Alibaba, and that's it. You get a price back. Oh, that's a good price. Then I triple or quadruple what I'm going to put it on Amazon. Doesn't work that way. The best way for you to negotiate is not with the packaging, not with insert. It's strictly the product. So if I'm selling a plastic shoe stretcher, it's the plastic shoe stretcher. First of all, I'm asking, if it could be, if there's anything that they can do to make it more innovative or better, higher quality, and just start off by negotiating that price. Then go through the whole sample process of taking a look at it, getting the samples sent over, and signing off on what you want. So this is the perfect price. Okay, so now let's start talking about moving forward. Then before you move forward, you want to talk about packaging. So typically a manufacturer is not a packaging company. So they're going to get their packaging from somebody else. They're going to mark it up, and then they could mark it up as high as 100%, and you have no idea. So if you get that plastic shoe stretcher in a box with an insert, you're paying a lot of extra money for that package. So once you nail it down and you're getting ready to go to the next phase, so placing the order, just, oh, by the way, can you get me a price on packaging? And then you can go and get your own pricing on packaging, which you can, go to Alibaba, you can
Price
go to
comparison.
Fiverr, go wherever, but you can find the pricing, and you'll notice right off the bat, you could save a ton of money. So let's say it's $1.50, you might be paying 79 cents. Then one other thing that you can do with that, so you let the supplier know, look, I found a better price. Would you be able to kit it for me? Most of the time they'll say, yeah, no problem. We'll kit it for you. So now you're getting a better price. You're paying strictly for the product. You've got a great package that they're putting in. But how do you bring the price down of the package even further? You'll negotiate with the packaging company to get a higher quantity. So let's say that you need 250 units. and that's $1.50. Well, if you get 1,000 units, or if you get 1,500 units, that means that you're going to get it for 79 cents. It'll come down dramatically. All right, great. So I get it for 79 cents. It's really not that much extra to buy 1,500 boxes. You talk to the manufacturer, you say, I've got 1,500 boxes. I only need 250. Can you store them for me for free? He's going to say yes, because
Guarantees the reorder.
Yeah, exactly. So now you've brought down your price dramatically. So that's something that you can keep in mind. And one of the secrets, this is in negotiating, and let's say that the product comes out at $275, and you feel that you could get a better deal. And a lot of the times, what I find with manufacturers is they'll stick at a price. $275 is the best I can do. You've gone back, you've negotiated a little bit. Well, I always let them know that I'm chopping around it. Like, I've got a couple of people that I'm working with, and then you go silent. Don't answer their emails.
So are we moving into secret 4 here?
No, this is part of negotiation.
Part of negotiation. So we're going to call secret 3 to know when to negotiate and when to walk away. So this seems like almost like shopping for a car. Like, yeah, hey, it was nice talking to you guys. I think I'm going to go look at the other 2 dealerships today.
Yep. So be quiet. What you'll notice, that it's the right price if you're not getting hounded. If you're getting hounded and the emails are kind of like this, oh, I was able to talk to my manager and they've approved, an extra 7 cents. Oh, we were able to do this with the material, and now you're down to, another 12 cents. And you'll know once they shut up about the product, like they got it down as far as you can go, that it's the right price. And I had this. Here's a perfect example. So I sell soap, and I was looking around. It was for the packaging side of it. So I have my soap made over here. All the packages were made overseas. It's expensive packaging. So we were negotiating, and then I decided not to go that route. I was just going to just keep the same packaging. Without answering, I started to see the package price go down, a month, down further, 2 months. It was a 25% savings. I didn't answer, and I got 25% off because I didn't answer. So how's that?
Well, I think that's more margin. So, all right, I like this. So you've really talked to a lot of manufacturers. If you've learned that one, that's a good one.
Yeah, and actually, it's an interesting strategy because it works for more than manufacturing.
Yeah, it does.
But I love it, and so this is another one that drives me crazy because I spent so much on FOB. So when do you buy FOB?
I do. Now, for the most part, most of my clients do as well. I source decanters from China, but all of my wine glasses are just local in the States for my brand called Momster. And at the end of the podcast, I'm going to ask you if you think state manufacturing is ever going to come back, but let's hold that question. So before we get there, so secret number 4, something with FOB?
Yes, FOB over Ex Works. So the difference is, and it's so simple, is you're basically saying either I don't know anything other than FOB, or I'm going to pay my manufacturer a heck of a lot of money to ship from their dock to the port. Basically, that's what it is. And if you work with, instead of FOB, and they say, well, how do you want it shipped? You just say, oh, I'll take care of it. It's Ex Works. And basically letting them know that you're going to talk to your logistics company, and I'll go and I'll pick it up at the door and I'll drop it off at the port. Now, here's the difference, okay? So we just did this. So we had a client that was paying FOB $1.85 for each product, okay? So each unit was $1.85. And the Ex Works price and if you're looking for XWorks, the acronym is EXW. The XWorks price was $1.25. That's over 30% savings from saying, oh, yeah, don't ship from your manufacturing facility over to the port. Okay, so in this case, 10,000 pieces, we would have paid the manufacturer $6,000. Now it's back in our pocket.
That's a significant cost savings.
Yeah.
Now, for those that aren't sophisticated, though, how hard is it to do EXW? Because I've only ever done FOB, to be honest.
Just talk to your logistics company, talk to the freight forwarder, tell them that's what you want. Make arrangements to pick up. So I like right now with mine, I'll just contact. Well, I own my own company, but before I used to just say, hey, can you make arrangements? They'd make arrangements for me, and that's how it's a phone call. So it's a $6,000 phone call.
$6,000 phone call. Sign me up. I'd rather do that than get paid for a coaching session. Sounds like a plan. All right, so that's a good one. So EXW over FOB.
Yep.
Secret number 4. All right, secret number 5. Hit me.
Your supplier is not a shipper. Never let your supplier act as your shipper, because they'll use their buddy, or they'll use their friend, or they'll just add. They got to make a profit, and I don't blame them. But if you take care of that, then they're not taking that piece of the pie either. So, just never, ever allow your supplier to help ship your product to your destination. So you don't want that. You want to take care of that. You'll have a logistics company that will give you a price. You can always compare it.
But I'm going to the doctor's, later this week. I want the doctor to come pick me up before he gives me my exam. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about, right? Like the service that is rendered, or the product that is rendered, they've got one expertise. They're not a logistics company. Hire a logistics company.
That's right. And it feels great when somebody's one-stop shop, but a lot of the times you pay the price. And this is what I was talking about. There's a lot of hidden costs that a lot of people don't realize, and it's part of everyday business that you don't get in a lot of courses, because they don't know about this.
It sounds like to me you built this playbook through trial and error and experience. You paid your tax as you led with. And so I also feel the same way about my skill set. There's not a single thing I learned in college that's helping me do what I do, right? It's experience. It's grinding. Right. There's no Amazon secret sauce, nothing that's going to make passive income happen in your life today. It's hard blood, sweat, tears work. Would you agree with that?
100%. Yeah. Yeah. It's, what do they call the streets? MBA, MBA on the streets, whatever it is.
Yeah. Street smarts. I'll go with that. I'll hire for that.
And here's a little, bonus tip that we've added, to that last secret.
Supplier is not a shipper secret. Okay.
Yeah. So here's another one that adds to that. And that's, we don't like to use, and we actually say never use, a site that provides instant shipping quotes, because there's always a catch to it. Anybody that can give you an instant shipping quote, you're normally going to receive, they'll give you a lower rate, but a lot of the times there's hidden fees. So just, something to think about. If you go to a site, again, it's all about ease. And if it's ease, you're paying for it one way or the other.
Any convenience fee has a tax, no doubt. All right. Secret number 6.
Okay. So I'm not sure if this one is considered a secret, but a way to save hundreds of dollars if it's one product, thousands of dollars if you're bringing in launching multiple products. But that's consolidate your samples. So you can ask a sourcing agent to consolidate. There's lots of ways to do it. You could even work probably with a freight company and just ask them, if you can send over your samples. But typically a sourcing agent would help you out with a Chinese address. So, they're acting on your behalf. they're getting the samples brought over to them. Usually they'll make notes and they'll say, this supplier is this supplier supplied that. These are what's good, the bad, the ugly, and then send it over to you all in one time. So instead of spending $70 a sample and you have 6 samples, you're only spending it once. And you can save a ton of money if you do it that way.
All right. So I've got to ask, do you have a closet like the one behind me here filled to the brim with samples you're never acting on?
You see that closet behind me?
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody's got one. Anybody who's been in this business knows what I'm talking about. You're constantly looking for that next product. Fastest way to grow your sales on Amazon, source more product.
Yes.
And so sample, because you cannot settle for mediocrity in this world of price gouging, price wars. You got to go for quality products. It's the only way to win.
Right.
So, all right. So I like that. Consolidate samples. I have to ask you though, is it weird or a good or a bad sign when you get those samples with handwriting instead of like, I don't know, a printed label? Any way to read into that?
If it's a handwritten over a printed label?
Yeah. So like the shipping label, most of the samples I receive are generally handwritten. And I've long theorized that many of these manufacturing plants literally don't have a printer, and they're super small. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I just have no idea. I'm just curious. Any take on that?
Yeah, and that's why you want a factory audit. So a lot of the times there'll be there's all sorts of suppliers. You can find 10 different plastic shoe stretchers on Amazon, but the one that's got the farm with the manufacturing facility in the barn and also has pearls, an oyster field on the other side, is a little bit different than a real manufacturer that has quality control standards and everything else in place. So a sourcing agent, a trading company, a lot of times they'll go out and do a factory audit for you. And so it's not that uncommon to have handwritten, because you're right. There are a lot of small companies out there that aren't hooked up to the printers. And if you're getting it from your sourcing company, a lot of times they're handwriting the labels because the products are coming in and they're just making notes on them to send it off. So it wouldn't be unusual to have something that's not typewritten.
Got it. Makes sense. All right. Secret number 7.
Oh, this is 6. The other one was bonus.
That was the bonus one. All right. I'll relabel that one bonus. Secret 6. Here we go.
Okay. This one I love. So many suppliers in China will send what's called HS codes. Okay. Instead of HTS codes. HTS codes are harmonized. It's a harmonized tariff system. And this is basically a tax coming into the U.S. And it's very complex. You can save a ton of money with the proper code. You could pay a ton of money to the government if it's the wrong code. So just by looking at it, and I should back up, like a lot of times Chinese manufacturers, they can't speak English, and all they're doing is giving you a basic code, and it's the wrong code. So we found so many times that we've just dug into it and easily, it could be a couple of points here. It could be huge dollars. And I've got a couple of examples that like I can talk to you about it. And oh, by the way, I can give you the URL to make sure that you can check it out yourself. I'm not sure if you want me to just give it to you at the end of the podcast. I can.
That'd be great. We'll put it in the show notes. Absolutely.
Okay, very good, because you will save some money. But here's a couple of examples. So we had this, it was like a magnetic tape, and they were being classified. They had 4.9% plus 25%. So for the duty classification, they were paying $2,450. Okay, with the 25% additional tariff, They were paying 13,000. So the total was 15,562 in duties. We were able to reclassify it. Just very, it was all, you can't lie. It was the truth about what this product was, but all it was reclassified where it did not need the 25%, paid 2.1%. Instead of 15,500, it was $1,050.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was a $14,500 savings. And then this one is timely for COVID. This just happened. We were bringing in some signs. Basically, it was caution quarantine area, and it was 25%. And it was an item classified under aluminum. Okay, yeah, it was aluminum, but it was a sign. And so they ended up paying $5,000 tax. We looked at it and reclassified it as a item for display, warning, or advertising, which got it down to 9.5%. They saved $3,500.
Those are some big cost savings. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So is this a service that you provide for others that maybe somebody would want to get in contact with you about?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So we have a company called Honu Worldwide, and we do everything from A to Z. We'll do the product development, which we didn't talk about, but we can do product development if somebody's got an idea or make an existing product a bit more innovative. The sourcing, definitely. We can. The last secret here talks about inspection, so we can coordinate your product. We don't own an inspection company, but we can coordinate it and make sure they're not corrupt.
So yeah, what's the inspection secret?
Okay, so the inspection secret is have one. So that's it. Have one. So if you don't have an inspection, which most inspections are very little, you don't have to worry. They cost $300 or less. And the one thing you have to remember when you're doing an inspection is the inspection agent doesn't know what to look for if there's something specific. Like me with the screen wipes, I didn't know, or we didn't know to tell them about the microfilm. So now we know, and now we can add all of this. So here's an example. We just did some skateboards. So we had to make sure that the skateboards turned right, turned left, went straight. So we got actually some pretty funny footage.
It was an inspector learning how to skateboard.
Inspector learning how to skateboard, going left, falling, going right, falling. But anyways, that you can have a certain percentage, and you can either you can go in and you can check prior to the production. You can check during the production run. You can do 100% inspection, like the skateboards. We also have chef knives that we have to make sure that they're sharp enough when they go in the box, that we have every one, that you have a picture of it with going through paper. So we know that 100% that there's no problems with these knives coming over. Now they're very expensive knives, but something like that might cost anywhere from $750 to $1,200, but the knives are $100 each. So we want to make sure
you got to have that quality control. It makes sense. I did chef knives myself. So when I went to China a few years back, I did forged chef knives. That was one of my failed projects. Chef knives I found to be extremely difficult to market and sell. So I'm curious, do you think there are some home goods, like kitchen goods, like chef knives, still worth going into?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So there was something I was missing then. Dang it.
Okay. So here's an example on packaging that has nothing to do with sourcing except the product itself. So we've got a product that was sourced for $16, kitchen utensils, and it launched at $49. Revamped the packaging, so went back to the Chinese manufacturer, revamped it, got it up to $79. Then we got it up to $97, and then we were able to revamp it even further to get it at $124. So we thought from $16 to $124 was pretty darn good. Then you'll love this. So we took a wooden box, repackaged it, and relaunched it at $224. Same product.
Wow. Just putting it in a freaking wooden box.
A wooden box, $3
Ah. What could have been? What could have
what
been?
what could have been. But I mean, it's, you know, it's just different products, different marketing, different time of day. But, you know, one of the things, like one of the most important, and this is the golden nugget of the day.
Okay. Saved it for last. Here we go.
Saved it for last. So this is actually the 8th or 9th or 10th, but the biggest nugget I can possibly give is that you have to think about how you're communicating. In the States, we use POs. So we go out there and we provide POs and we think, oh, it's a legally binding contract, right? Well, in China, all that is paper. And people make mistakes by thinking, oh, I'm going to put these molds, you know, on here. They're going to be exclusively mine. You put all your information into your PO, and you miss out on putting it on your pro forma. So 3 months later, you see your molds being used by the manufacturer. And I've had this happen at one event. 2 people came up to me and said this happened. And, oh, did you use a pro forma? No, I did a PO. So a PO doesn't protect you. So when you get your pro forma, which is your invoice from your manufacturer, that's where you put all that information that you had on your PO. You want to put in the negotiated terms. This is really important. Your acceptable defect rate. So if something's over 1%, then are you going to get a credit on your next order? Who owns the product? So every little thing that you can think of is on that pro forma, and that's what they sign off on, and not on your PO.
That is a golden nugget. I didn't even know a pro forma existed, let alone how to define it and why it's important. So the longer I've, this reminds me of a doctor metaphor. The doctors straight out of college, if you will, are the ones that are the cockiest ever. They're like, I can cure anything. The doctors that have been around the block a while, they're like second guessing themselves constantly, asking for second opinions, saying a prayer. I feel like that guy. I feel like the longer I've been selling on Amazon, the more second guessing. And quite frankly, this is probably the most knowledge dump that I've experienced in the last 3 years, where I'm like, holy crap, there's a lot I don't know. And thank you for that. Norm, I feel like I know this guy now. So thank you for that as well.
Hey, there's a nice plug.
There's a plug for your podcast. If you guys haven't subscribed to I Know This Guy yet, after listening to this podcast, you are missing out on tremendous amounts of value. So Norm, thank you so much for coming on the My Amazon Guy podcast. Incredible value add.
Hey, it was my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
For those that might be joining us from Norm's audience, my name is Stephen Pope. I'm the founder of My Amazon Guy. We're a one-stop shop for all things Amazon to market your product after you launch it. Everything from search engine optimization to advertising and A+ content design, improve those conversion rates. So, well, Norm, again, thanks so much for joining us. We will definitely have to be in touch again, bring you on to talk more. Learned so much.
I'm glad you did.
And we'll be on your podcast here shortly, so stay tuned. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into our podcast today. Don't forget to subscribe to the My Amazon Guy podcast and go check out I Know This Guy. This was the My Amazon Guy podcast with Stephen Pope. Each episode helps you grow your sales on Amazon through ideas on traffic and conversion rate improvements. Hit that subscribe button right now to tune in each week. And if you need more help, go to myamazonguy.com.